Squid Game Season 2, the salesman's twisted backstory will blow your mind. In Squid Game Season 2, the highly anticipated return of Seong Gi-hun takes an intense turn as he dives headfirst into the world of deceit, cruelty, and unhinged characters. This time, he's on the hunt for the salesman, the Dokji recruiter played by Gong Yoo. If you thought this character was unsettling in Season 1, buckle up. Season 2 takes his twisted story to shocking new depths. The salesman, a chaotic force behind the Squid Games. From the moment we met the salesman in Season 1, his unsettling demeanor hinted at something far darker than meets the eye. Remember the iconic Dokji scene? The salesman lured Gi-hun into a game he was destined to lose, all while gleefully slapping him in the face. That sadistic smirk and casual cruelty were just the tip of the iceberg. In Season 2, Gi-hun knows the salesman is the key to uncovering the true masterminds of the Squid Game. While the frontman and the guards operate in secrecy on a remote island, the salesman prowls the streets of the real world. His mission? To prey on the destitute and desperate, recruiting them into the deadly competition. But when Gi-hun confronts him, the salesman doesn't crack under pressure. Instead, he escalates the situation in the most twisted way possible. In a tense standoff, he kills one of Gi-hun's men in a deadly game of Russian roulette and challenges Gi-hun to play against him. This isn't just a game, it's a window into the salesman's dark and depraved soul. A glimpse into the salesman's double life. Season 2 doesn't just scratch the surface, it dives deep into the salesman's deranged psyche. When he isn't scouting new players, he's entertaining himself with a cruel game he calls bread or lottery. In this disturbing ritual, the salesman targets homeless people, offering them a choice, a meal or a scratch card. Predictably, most choose the lottery ticket, clinging to a false hope of escape from their misery. The result? None of them win. As if this weren't cruel enough, the salesman dumps all the food on the ground and stomps on it while delivering his twisted moral lesson. I gave you a choice, and you made your choice. I'm not the one who threw these away. It was you, ladies and gentlemen. This scene is a stark reminder of the salesman's warped sense of justice and his complete lack of empathy. A twisted encounter with Gi-hun's men. The salesman's cruelty doesn't stop at manipulation. When he realizes he's being followed by two of Gi-hun's men, he takes matters into his own hands. After overpowering them, he ties them up and forces them into a nightmarish combination of rock, paper, scissors, -1, and Russian roulette. All the while, he maintains his trademark sinister grin, reveling in their terror. The salesman's dark origin, a chilling confession. The most shocking moment comes when Gi-hun finally corners the salesman in his building. What starts as a confrontation quickly turns into another deadly game of Russian roulette. During this intense exchange, the salesman unveils the horrifying story of how he became one of the key players in the Squid Game organization. How do you think I got to where I am now? I used to work in the games when I was younger. I removed and burned the bodies of countless people like you. These things aren't human. They're just trash, utterly useless in this world. I kept telling myself that and worked hard for a few years. Then they gave me a gun. It felt pretty good, like my existence was acknowledged for the first time in my life. But the most chilling revelation? The salesman once shot his own father during a Squid Game competition. One day I was about to shoot a man who had lost a game. The guy seemed familiar. Guess who it was? My dad. My dad was suddenly standing right in front of me. He was in tears, desperately begging me to spare his life. I shot him in the middle of his forehead and realized, I am cut out for this job. This confession cements the salesman as one of the most twisted characters in the Squid Game universe. A shocking end to the salesman's story. The confrontation ends in a grim twist. Gi-hun, against all odds, survives the deadly game of Russian roulette. Meanwhile, the salesman, perhaps realizing the weight of his sins or simply unable to bear his loss, turns the gun on himself and pulls the trigger. This jaw-dropping scene is more than just a tragic ending for a depraved character. It sets the stage for an even darker exploration of the moral decay and desperation at the heart of the Squid Game.